live stream. Stay tuned. Our next interview is coming up soon. For the latest agricultural news, market updates, and daily podcasts, visit us online at agnews890.com. We'll be right back. You're watching the Ag Central Radio Network live stream. Stay tuned. Our next interview is coming up soon. For the latest agricultural news, market updates, and daily podcasts, visit us online at agnews890.com. We'll be right back.
Farm Fest in, southern Minnesota. We're really, I guess you could say, on a farm. We're not in town. We're kind of near Redwood Falls and Morton, and I forget the other town that's to the, what is the town to the, just to the east of us?
Morgan.
Well, that's Morgan.
Yeah.
And then we got Morton.
That's
right
right.
there.
Morton,
So it's
yeah.
weird. I just know the casinos by us.
Just remember M's. Just M's. The M
All
towns.
right. The voices you hear are your friends and our friends for the University of Minnesota Morris, and they are doing all sorts of things with agriculture. In fact, I think both of you. We got Michael Reese and then Lee Johnston. Let's start with Michael. Michael, how many years have you been here? Because it's been a few
Yeah,
years.
we've
I've
been
been
here about-
harassing you for years now.
Yeah, we've been here about 5 years.
5 years.
And one reason why we began coming here is, they touch so many farmers here and so many policymakers and ag professionals, and we just can't get that back at the Research and Outreach Center in Morris. So it's a good way to interact with a lot of our stakeholders and constituents.
Yeah. You're director of operations and then 700 other words. So you're a
Yeah.
busy guy all the time. Do you want to give the whole thing?
Sure, we can get into that if you would like.
Yeah, just
but
give the whole
So
title.
I'm the director of operations of the West Central Research and Outreach Center, part of the University of Minnesota.
Yep.
There's 10 research and outreach centers located throughout the state, each geographically spaced out, so we can do research on different geographical areas,
Yeah.
and have the same crops and see what the performance is in all those. I also lead the renewable hydrogen and ammonia research team. So we're looking at producing nitrogen fertilizer from wind, water, and air, and
Wow.
so that's
God.
kind of a neat process. And anhydrous ammonia is responsible for about 2% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions. So that's one of the problems. And then obviously we have constraints with supply sometimes with the geopolitical situations across
Yeah.
the world, including today in the Strait of Hormuz, which
Oh.
drives up prices. So Minnesota produces or consumes about $1 billion worth of nitrogen fertilizer annually. And so why not keep those dollars locally in our community?
Right. So are we close to, and I know the answer to this, but are we close to taking care of some of these needs ourselves? I know that they're talking about development of fertilizer and nitrogen and other things here. We're capable of it, but basically from what I've been told, the infrastructure and everything else is years away though, right? To be
Right.
able to,
I don't think it's years away. I think we're very close because anhydrous is anhydrous.
yeah.
Whether it's produced with solar or wind or whether it's produced with natural gas.
But
like
could
we
we do
currently
it to the level we need to though?
Yeah, we certainly can.
You can.
Yeah,
Okay.
the technology is fine. I think we need some stable policy. I think that's been one of the challenges in the last few years is that the policy just continues to shift, and it's hard for farmers and cooperatives and others to make that investment when the policy keeps shifting.
Mm. Okay, then we get over to Lee. Lee is on the swine side, completely different, but maybe somewhat the same.
Same thing, only different.
Same thing, really different. So let's talk about some of the things you've got in the tent and what some of the things that you're doing here. You got students here as well, right? Or are they grad students?
Yeah, I work mostly with graduate students. I'm a professor of animal science. My specialty is swine nutrition and management. I get into a lot of nutrition kind of things. I like to think about sows and how we can better feed sows, but also house them. And we get into some welfare things. My colleague and I, Dr. Yushi Lee, she's been leading our work on tail biting, which is a common vice in pigs still, and we're trying to figure some of that stuff out. Um, I work with graduate students, so trying to train the next generation of professionals
Yeah.
to come out into the industry. And lately, the project that excites me quite a bit is we've been feeding high levels of zinc in the diet for pregnant sows. And we found across our studies and a couple other studies around the world that it improves the survival rate of baby pigs after they're born. Yeah, you
Really?
cock your head and you say, well, why is that?
Yeah.
And we cock our head and say, well, why is that? But we see the response consistently,
Yeah.
fairly consistently across different research groups and different countries and so forth. So we're trying to figure out why that is. And the downside is that we feed really high zinc in pregnancy. A lot of that zinc comes through in manure, and so it's an environmental concern. So if we can pinpoint what's causing it and when to feed it, then maybe we can target things and do some precision nutrition and
Okay.
just dial it in for and get the performance responses we want. And the industry has been really struggling with how do we drive down mortality of multiple classes of pigs. Our litters have gotten bigger, our sows have gotten more productive, but our premium mortality is still a little higher than we'd like. So that's what we've been focusing on.
Yeah, it's interesting. The one thing that I learned about nutrition, I don't know if you know Eric Berg from up
Oh,
by
yeah.
NDSU,
Yep.
but the study they did with pigs and eating human food and how bad it is, the human food is, and to the point I think they had to stop feeding the pigs
Oh, yeah.
the
Well,
food because it's so that, and this is what we take in, and it's like, oh my gosh, we should be studying our own diet. let alone
well,
everything else.
I've always tell my students in that we are much more scientific and dialed in on pig nutrition than we are on human nutrition.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! But so when you talk nutrition, are you working with farmers as well? Or
Yep,
you,
we do. We do. I have an extension appointment, so I can try to help farmers work out any questions that I have expertise in. And we've done our last couple studies on large commercial farms, partnering with individual farmers because they can get us real world experience or conditions and a lot more numbers than we have in our university herd. So it's been
Yeah.
good partnership.
Michael, precision agriculture. You still have that? Is that methane tractor? Is that what
Uh,
you have over there? Or what's the deal with the gray tractor?
Well, that's an electric tractor.
It's an electric tractor.
Yeah,
Okay,
but we do have a biomethane tractor.
you
that,
do. Okay, I
That
thought you did.
Case New Holland has donated to us to do some research with.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a 180 horsepower tractor. The electric tractor is more in the 40 to 50 horsepower range, so
Yeah.
smaller. But the electric tractor is called a Monarch. That company actually went bankrupt, unfortunately. But the electric tractors that size are probably going to become more prevalent as time goes on. Uh, we use it to pull a solar shade power station, and we pull it through our pastures so that cattle can get shade underneath, and we can produce electricity. And because it's on wheels, we can charge things like tractors and other implements from it.
You got one of those here. It's big. It's bigger than I thought with
Yeah.
the shade.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
absolutely. It provides a lot of shade to cattle, and our dairy scientists and our dairy program has shown that obviously it's pretty obvious that
Yeah.
shade helps cattle when it's hot out and sunny. So it's well used and kind of some interesting research. And it's not the only thing we do from a precision ag standpoint, both in livestock and in crops, but on crops, livestock in particular. We have things like the invisible fence that we're doing research on. Uh, Cattle wear the collars, and it'll give them a signal if they get close to a boundary. If they get too close, just like your pets, it'll give them a little
Yeah.
stimulation to say that you're going too far.
Yeah. Are you guys getting into the health with those tags or those collars too? Of
Yeah,
reading temperatures and breeding and all that kind of fun
sure,
stuff? You've gotten
absolutely.
into that?
Have our dairy scientist, Professor Brad Hines, gets into all that, and it'll measure rumination, so you can see if the cattle are healthy. It'll track where they are in the pasture, making sure that they're moving and coming to water, coming to get milked, all those things. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting field, and probably has applications beyond dairy as well.
Well, unfortunately, I'm out of time. I wanted to talk to you about the autonomous weeder, but you guys are working on that too. So for anybody, you guys have a good website that folks could check out if they want to find out what you guys are doing in
Just
Morris?
Google WCROC, and it'll bring you to our website.
Fantastic. Anything from you, Lee? Oh, you're so quiet over there.
Well, you've been talking all the time, so you didn't ask me a question.
Whoa!
No,
Touche.
I told you
That's
about
good.
what I'm passionate about, so that's I'm happy.
Awesome. All right. Well, Lee Johnston and Michael Reese, thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the opportunity.
You're watching the Egg Central Radio Network live stream. Stay tuned. Our next interview is coming up soon. For the latest agricultural news, market updates, and daily podcasts, visit us online at eggnews890.com. We'll be right back. You're watching the Egg Central Radio Network live stream. Stay tuned. Our next interview is coming up soon. For the latest agricultural news, market updates, and daily podcasts, visit us online at eggnews890.com. We'll be right back.
lead, sir. That wasn't too bad.
You're watching the Egg Central Radio Network live stream. Stay tuned. Our next interview is coming up soon. For the latest agricultural news, market updates, and daily podcasts, visit.
Or is there still many?
You're watching the Egg Central Radio Network live stream. Stay tuned. Our next interview is coming up soon. For the latest agricultural news, market updates, and daily.
It's kind of fun for the.
You're watching the Egg Central Radio Network live stream. Stay tuned. Our next interview is coming up soon.
I got to do a little tease, and then we'll get you on. It'll be about 4 minutes. Okay, Ben, I'm standing by. Good afternoon. Welcome back to Farm Talk. I'm News and Farm Director Eric Johnson. We are broadcasting today from southern Minnesota and Minnesota Farm Fest. It has been a busy day so far. First of 3 days. We're going to be here ourselves today and tomorrow. It is a political year, so we got a lot of folks from the Congress, Senate. There's going to be, we've got some governor hopefuls also here pulling in this morning. So we're going to get to hear a lot of farm policy, I'm sure, over the next several days. But also we get a chance to catch up with the commodity groups from corn and soybeans. And in fact, we got Minnesota Soybean Growers board member Scott Brusman. He is going to be joining us right out of the get-go. We will be checking markets today. Bolt Marketing's Dwayne Bussey will be checking in from South Dakota at about 2:20. We've also got the president of the Minnesota Farmers Union, Gary Werdish, slated for 2:33. And then, by the way, we did have the USDA Ag Secretary, Brooke Rollins, here earlier giving a speech and meeting with folks. And we have some of the comments that she had to make, including an announcement about a delay in making your crop insurance payments for 2 months. Yeah, that was one of the things she talked about. So we'll have more on that coming up on today's edition of Farm Talk. Okay.
You're watching the Egg Central Radio Network live stream. Stay tuned. Our next interview is coming up soon. For the latest agricultural news, market updates, and daily podcasts, visit us online at agnews890.com. We'll be right back.
Growers have anything to do with this? Because I swear to God, it's like 74 here. It's gorgeous today.
Yeah, well, we're promoting the state of hockey. We're playing hockey over at the booths over there and promoting memberships. And
Gotcha.
We-
So, have you been? I think you've been here years before. Do you always try to make it to Farm Fest and be a part of? Because you told me you've been on the board for, I think, since Minnesota was created as a state. I'm not saying you're old, but I'm just saying.
yeah, I've been on the board probably for 25, 30
20
years.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
Okay.
but you know, the Soybean Association advocates for the St. Paul, and you know, we're only 1% of the population. The farmers are, and we got to have people that represent us
Yeah.
in St. Paul, and it's important that we continue to do that, because otherwise they're going to have people that are going to do things legislatively that we are going to affect our operations.
Yeah.
This spring or this last session, we stopped the. They wanted to get rid of paraquat herbicide, so that a lot of our organizations that were there, we stopped that from happening. So
Hmm.
we don't want to have things that we use. We don't use so much in soybeans, but
Yeah.
it is a product we don't want to lose, I guess. It's just they don't want to have. We have these products have been around for 50 years, probably been approved by EPA, and we need these products. So we
Yeah.
don't, I mean,
There's only so many tools in the toolbox, and they keep taking tools and things that you normally use away.
yeah,
And you want to see the research. Sometimes it's like, God, they did studies on this forever, and then all of a sudden they're coming up with something that says it's wrong. But it's like, well, what happened to the other surveys? That so it does get to be tough. First of all, I want to let people know where because you're down by the Pipestone area, right?
well, I'm straight here. I'm north of Marshall,
North
14
of Marshall.
miles,
Okay.
which is
What has the year been like for you? Because it seems like everybody I ask has a different tale. Some of them it's been it was really wet, but now it's dry. Then others are like, it's been dry and it's still dry. Or we've got hit by this storm or that storm. It's been a weird weather year again. What's it been like for you?
well. We got out there about the 20th of April this year planting, and then we planted all of our beans maybe before the 24th of April, and then we finished up our corn probably just before May. And it was cold,
You're
warmed
watching.
up, and then it's been dry. We were dry. I mean, we needed rain. We just got, in my house, we got 2.9 inches here over the weekend or whatever it was 4 days ago, and it's made a blessing for us. Otherwise, I think it's already hurt the corn already. I was happening to look at my corn here just yesterday and today.
Yeah.
It's got a 3-inch tip back on it already because of the drought.
long
It had
it took.
pollinated, but it didn't. It ain't gonna fill that top tip.
Yeah.
But beans, it's another story. That's going to be phenomenal the way it looks to me. The pods are there.
That had to hit at just in the nick of time because
Yeah.
we're getting very close to being in a tough situation for soybeans too. Soybeans to me always look like they're having a tough go, and then all of a sudden that once that canopy closes and things take off. And I think we're there, right? As far as, are you running into any insect problems or disease? Or I know a few spots have dealt with issues there.
Well, I know in my area we're not dealing with too much of any bugs right now. We have a few aphids coming in now after the rain. With the heat, we didn't have anything reproduction-wise on the aphids parts, and
Yeah.
there was talk of some people having spider mites, but in my area, no.
And spider mites, you're just getting down on your hands and knees and looking, right? I mean, what do you do to check for spider mites? Is that pretty much it?
Yeah, you got to get out there and
Root around.
yeah.
See what's happening there. At one time, we were back over 12. Now, I think the other day we're down below again. I don't know what we're doing today, but prices okay, or we still got some room to grow for soybeans?
Well, prices are, we've lost $1 in the last week. I think It's since the weather changed and the war in Iraq stopped, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden
It changes again.
oil demand, oil kind of follows the crude.
Right.
So, but we keep on working on market usage, different things to use our soybeans for, and
That's all you can do, especially like China. Although we did have a story that supposedly there was some big buys from China, but I don't know what exactly that translated into, but even if they just live up to what was supposed to happen, that would sure be nice
Yeah, yeah.
than what's been.
We need positive news.
Yeah. So have you gone any of the trade trips at all, or any of those types of things?
Well, I was on a trip to Chile. I believe it was back in 1995 or something like that. It's been a few years
It's been a
ago.
while. Okay.
Yeah, I was on the research committee at that time, and we have actually have a research facility where we plant breeding facility down there where we can increase reproduction on new soybeans. You know, you get another season in, so you can you can shorten up the breeding time
Yeah.
between varieties.
Okay.
So
What are you growing? Corn, soybeans? Are you do any wheat?
I do some alfalfa.
Alfalfa.
Usually I
okay.
got at least 80 acres of alfalfa.
Have you been combining that yet? Or is
Well,
that
we've
early?
combined. We've taken harvested the alfalfa 3 cuttings so far. We're going to get a 4th one here.
Okay.
But wheat, I don't. I know one of my local board members. He had wheat. He's over by Canby, Minnesota, and it's a phenomenal year for wheat.
It is in some areas, depending on where you're at and what weather you got hit with. But I know on that corridor when we were down just north of Sioux Falls and coming back, there was some beautiful wheat fields. In fact, they were out there starting to take some of those fields, and it sounded like the yield was pretty good. So now we get those wheat prices up. I've had a few people, the same thing with everybody else, but I've had a few of the wheat growers are like, we could use a couple more dollars on top of not just 50 cents, but a couple more dollars on top of those prices. Now that's kind of gone up recently from that standpoint. What's the mood like with growers in your area? Still hopeful? Is this looking to be a decent year?
I think it's going to be an average year, or maybe better than average. I hope, and
Okay.
I think people are. It's so market driven. Seem like we've had some bad weather. I mean, it's been dry and it's been concerning to most of us growers, but it all changes overnight,
Yeah.
So, but
Let's put out the word for the Minnesota soybean growers. Obviously, you've been on it for 25 plus years. Are you guys looking for new members? Are we in that time of year?
yes, we need membership always. I mean, we've got like 2,500 members, and we have 24,000 growers.